Hello, drama lovers. Welcome back to K-pop world. Today, we bring a story that isn't easy to process. Not just because the main figure is Wang Yibo, someone who has long concealed everything behind the grandeur of the stage, but because, for the first time, that stage curtain has fallen, and we're witnessing something deeply human. Fear, tears, and love that was never put into words. We know that not everything can be explained in words. But that night, the hospital became a silent witness to an event that changed everything. That night was supposed to be quiet. There were no scheduled shoots, no promotions, no fan meetings. Wang Yibo was at his apartment, as usual. Alone, perhaps, or maybe with the staff who are like family to him. But in the stillness of that night, around 10:30 p.m., commotion was heard from inside his private room. Not the sound of a crash, not shouting, just labored breathing, and a body that finally collapsed onto the cold floor. His staff panicked. They initially thought it was exhaustion, something typical for an artist working without rest. But when his body began to tremble, and his face turned pale with cold sweat beating down his temples, they knew this wasn't just fatigue. An ambulance was called, and from that moment on, the world seemed to stop for a while. A private hospital in Beijing had never seen such urgency for just any patient. The ambulance arrived within 10 minutes. Medical personnel swiftly brought Yibo in on a stretcher to the ER. CCTV footage captured part of the incident, and within hours, social media exploded. No one expected that just a few hours after he was seen smiling in an interview, he would now be fighting to breathe. But it wasn't just news about Yibo's condition that gripped the internet in a tense silence. It was also about someone else who arrived shortly after the ambulance, Xiao Zhan. He came alone, no staff, no crew. His steps were brisk, his face covered with a mask, but his body trembled. A few people at the hospital noticed him, but no one dared to approach, as if the aura he carried that night was too heavy for anyone to touch. He stood in front of the ER door for nearly 5 minutes, head down, motionless, clutching his phone tightly, as though praying silently to someone. Then a nurse opened the door, gave him a signal, and he stepped inside. About 30 minutes later, a middle-aged woman stepped out of a black car, eyes swollen. In her hands, she clutched something, perhaps a letter or prayer, and her steps faltered. Wang Yibo's mother, a woman who rarely appears in public, now looked utterly fragile. What shocked everyone was that she and Xiao Zhan met in the hospital hallway. There was no dramatic hug, no shouting, but they looked at each other, and after that, they walked together into the treatment room. Quietly, in the cold of that night, two hearts, equally anxious, merged in a silence that pierced deeper than any scream. According to an internal hospital report that later leaked to the media, Wang Yibo's condition had been critical. Doctors performed rapid treatment. His heart was weak, his blood pressure dropped, and his body temperature was unstable. A condition that, according to old rumors, was linked to an illness he had secretly battled in the past. What illness? It has never been publicly announced. But longtime fans know, Yibo isn't someone who complains. He's performed with a knee injury, taken the stage while burning with fever, and has hidden his health like nothing ever happened. But that night, he couldn't hide anything anymore. Xiao Zhan, according to eyewitnesses, stayed at the hospital for 2 nights straight without going home. He slept on a bench in the family waiting room, only stepping out occasionally to buy water or coffee. He didn't speak much, barely touched his phone, and often stared blankly at the wall. Some nurses saw him cry, but those tears didn't fall in sobs. They were quiet, falling one by one, like someone who no longer knew how to pray or what to hope for. Wang Yibo's mother could not hide her sorrow either. She reportedly sat down weakly after doctors explained her son's condition. She held Xiao Zhan's hand tightly, and in a barely audible sob, she said, "He's been holding it all in for too long." When the news broke, social media erupted. Weibo, Twitter, Instagram, all platforms flooded with prayers. The hashtag #WangYibo hospitalized trended within an hour. But what was most touching were the fan comments, not demanding an explanation, just wanting to know, is he still alive? Yibo, you don't always have to be strong. If you're hurting, Don't hide it anymore. We're not strangers. We don't care about your comeback. We just want you healthy. To this moment, Wang Yibo's agency has not released an official statement. All they've said is that he's in recovery and has asked for privacy. But this silence has only deepened concerns. Fans wonder, was his condition far worse than anyone could imagine? Is this the first time he's collapsed? Or has it happened before, only hidden away from the world? And why? Why was Xiao Zhan the first to arrive, and not a manager? Many tried to connect the dots between Yibo and Zhan. Are they still close friends? Is their relationship deeper than just co-workers? Or were they always protecting each other silently, behind the stage lights, without announcing anything? There are no definite answers. But one thing is certain. That night, love wasn't declared. It simply arrived in silence, in prayers, and in tears. Now, thousands of fans have lit virtual candles. Some fan bases are holding online prayer vigils. They don't know what exactly is happening behind the hospital curtains, but they know something has changed. Wang Yibo is no longer just an idol. He is a human being, tired, fallen, crying quietly, and now fighting to rise again. And you, dear drama lovers, did you feel that same emptiness when you heard this news? Have you wondered how long Yibo has been hiding this pain on his own? We'll continue to monitor the latest updates on Wang Yibo's condition, whether Xiao Zhan will speak out, or whether the agency will finally explain what really happened. But for now, let's pause for a moment and send out a silent wish from the depths of our hearts for someone who's fighting silently, and for those who love him in silence, too. We'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. How did you feel when you found out Yibo was hospitalized? And what do you think the presence of Xiao Zhan and Yibo's mother that night really means? We're waiting for your thoughts. K-Pop World.